You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. If this is people have a lot to do. They have a lot of choices. There's so many people doing podcasts. And listen, I've been doing this for 6-7 years, and I've been here. So I feel like we know what we're doing here, and we try to bring you great interviews, candid, open interviews, not just actor stuff. But we talk about mental health and life and all that stuff. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. And if you're here for the wonderful, brilliant, controversial at times, poetic, comedic, brilliant, beautiful Sarah Silverman, then you came to the right place. And if you like this interview, all I'm asking is follow us, subscribe. It's free. And if you really love the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/insideofyou, and you could be a patron. And what's great about Patreon is it's a wonderful community. So many friends. I mean, people have made lifelong friends. And I love these folks on Patreon. I message them. There's different tiers. You can actually be on the podcast. You get your name shouted out. You get packages from me. There's so much. So join patreon.com/insideofyou and become a patron today. And I'll send you a message, and you're supporting the show. Picture it as a streamer, you're getting it for free. So if you give something back, that'd be great. Yeah. Go to Instagram too, at the Michael Rosenbaum. Go to my link tree, and you'll see my fart book and my puppy fresh breath dog stuff. Yeah. Rosie's puppy fresh breath. You just put a capful in your dog's water, and it's odorless, tasteless, and your dog's breath's going to be much better. I use it every single day. And The Talented Farter, my book on Amazon. It's a sound book. They're my farts. It's charming. And I hope you like it. So go to Amazon and get your, or just go to the link tree and all the cons and cameos and all that stuff on there. And the Inside of You online store, there's a link. There's so much cool merch, Smallville lunch boxes, and just check it out. Tons of autograph stuff and shirts and things like that. Ryan, are you good?
Yeah, I did switch my headphones to the other side, and it's not as weird as I thought it was going to be.
Not bad.
No, it's not bad, because I know it's the opposite ear, but the cord is on the right now.
We just lost 100 listeners.
Not viewers. I'm just telling you, my life is different now.
Yeah.
And it's because of that.
Oh, yes. Well, so is mine. Sarah Silverman is here. She's wonderful. I've known her for a very long time. Her sister cast me in an MTV thing many moons ago, and she always used to talk about her sister and how great she was. And then I met her, and then she took my money playing poker. And but I find her just delightful, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. And as you know, I don't get political. I don't talk politics on the show. It's very neutral. I just want to enjoy and talk about life and everything. And I don't do any of that. And so it was a great conversation. Mm-hmm. She's just so smart and quick-witted. Enough bragging about her. Shut up, Sarah. Let's just do the interview. Let's get inside of Sarah Silverman. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Oh, we're talking about Jeopardy. Celebrity Jeopardy. How we wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, no, I know.
Because why?
I mean, even if I knew the answer, which is, not, maybe for Celebrity Jeopardy, I might know answers, but I won't have access to it in that amount of time.
It doesn't come to you as fast. I'm going to tell you something.
I'm 10 beats behind solidly.
Well, I'll tell you something that I do, and I don't tell many people this, but sometimes I'll pause on Jeopardy to give myself an extra 30 seconds.
Yes, that's smart.
Just so, because I know the answer and I want to know that I know it, and I'd rather feel somewhat smart as opposed to saying, fuck.
Isn't it interesting that watching Jeopardy, when you know something and it's something that you would never think that you knew, but it was somewhere in your being.
Yeah.
And I always think of that movie Limitless.
Oh yeah, the pill.
Like if my boyfriend and I will be like, if we can't remember something, we're like, take the Limitless pill. We pretend to take the Limitless pill.
And then it comes to you.
In our brain somewhere. Like we would not let ourselves look up. Neither of us could remember the name Colby Smulders.
That's a hard name to remember.
We were like, oh, she's on.
And she's awesome.
I don't, meet your father.
Meet the
How
parents.
to Meet Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
What is wrong with me?
How I Met Your Mother. Yes. See?
Fucking sound like our parents who are like, I can't remember anything anymore.
I think you get an excuse after you're 45 or 50.
Yeah, I like to blame
50.
it on weed because it just sounds cooler, which is sad.
Do you smoke a lot of weed still?
No, I don't.
Well, you don't see. Don't get
No,
off.
I don't. But I do. I mean, I do when all homework is done, I'll have a puff.
But don't you think sometimes taking a few puffs and then writing some jokes is good?
Yes, but if I have
Too much.
If I have to like prep for a podcast or
role.
I'm like doing not like prep for a role, but like the night before my podcast, I'll sit and work on it or something. Then I can get high and work on it more. But
Right.
he said,
Right.
write high, edit sober.
Right.
I prefer to write sober, edit high.
Really? Because to me, you do it high when you're writing the jokes. And then when you edit it sober, you realize, oh, that wasn't funny.
That's true. Yes, when I'm high, I write things down. Maybe 2% of it is anything I would use once I look at it. But then when I'm working on it, I don't know. I guess you just go back and forth.
Doesn't it suck, though, when you write something when you're high and you're like laughing and this is the funniest thing ever. And then the next day you're like, that's not that funny.
Like Brian Posehn used to have a joke about
That's so
like
funny.
writing something down high and then waking up in the morning and going, chicken monkey.
How did I put that together?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I always write stuff down when I'm high and every once in a while it's good.
Do you have a go-to person that you go, obviously your boyfriend, but do you like that you pitch a joke to and they'll tell you the truth? And it's not that funny or it's really funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really count on that. I think I surround myself with people who tell me when my shit stinks and constantly.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It hurts the ego sometimes when you're like, no. Did you ever say, no, that is funny? You're not.
Well, sometimes I'll say a joke and he doesn't think it's that funny, but I'm like, I still like it. Or I'll try a joke. And there was a joke I had on and off 4 years. And not 4 years, but for years.
For years.
And it never worked. I couldn't get it to work, but I just didn't want to give up on it. And then I'd give up on it or I'd cut it out of like whatever hour I was working on or something. But I finally got it to work in this last special.
You
I can't
did?
believe it. It's so
Postpartum?
Yes. No, not postmortem.
Postmortem. That would be your next special.
Postpartum's a good idea for I always like to I used to go on
Postmortem.
talk shows and be like, not bad for 3 kids. But I'd be like, but I don't have 3 kids. But it would be really impressive.
When
if I
you
had.
pitched, okay, this is the idea. Postmortem, it's about the death of my parents.
Yes.
Did you know this is funny? Because right when I look at that, I'm like, this is comedy. This is funny. Just that alone.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear that. I want to hear about did you have a lot of dysfunction?
In my family?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, yes. But it really this special, it digresses a lot, of course, but it's really about when my dad and my stepmother died 2 years ago this coming May.
Oh boy.
9 days apart. And it was just great. It was just it's funny because when my people in my family have come to watch this show, I always go like, listen, it's comedy, whatever, but they can't believe it. It's all true. Like, which I don't feel like is a selling point because I'm not beholden to the truth at all. But it was.
You couldn't write this, and you did.
Hey, you couldn't write this, folks.
But you wrote it.
But I did. Yeah, no, it was. I've never had a special come out so soon after another special, but they were dying as my last special came out. So I was at square one when all I had to talk about was like the only material I had to work off of was the eulogy I gave at my dad's funeral. Like, because there were a lot of funny, he was really funny.
Right. But it wasn't like they died. You go, oh, this is great material. It was like, I'm going to suffer for a while. And then you kind of wrote.
It was brutal, but.
How do you, I mean, everyone gets through this shit, the way they do.
Yeah.
But
I'm not unique.
No, but you always, you can't really understand it until it happens, right? And then it happens and there's this numbness that you get.
grief. Listen, we've had a lot of people, friends, family die, right? I mean, when you're comics or in the comedy world, it's, pretty
Every week.
constant. And, you learn that grief is, you can't control it. So just be along for the ride. When my mother died, I didn't cry at all. And then, that you just like 2 weeks later when I'm home and in line at Gelson's, I just start sobbing, like it's just, you can't control it. Just let it do its thing.
Were they expected deaths?
No. Well, one, we always joked about and assumed that my dad would die first. My stepmother was like, she was 80, but you would never know it. And she was like really active and loved. She was like incredible athlete and just very alive and loved life. But she got cancer out of nowhere, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And listen, we would have them record their doctor's appointments and post it on our WhatsApp chain, our family WhatsApp chain, when they were older, so that we could listen and make sure everything was being taken care of. And this one we knew was going to be really bad. I talk about it in my special, but listening to it was crazy because it really showed who each parent was. Like Janice is so, that you hear the doctor go, Janice, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you have stage 4 pancreatic. And then you just hear this very loud, low rolling fart. And I know it's my dad. And it's not like I had never heard him fart before. I've never heard him fart. It's not like, dad farts all the time.
It's a fart.
It is a fart. We played it over and over and over, needless to say.
What a punchline.
And I know it was my dad because he did not have the tools to deal with this.
Right.
So like his
Couldn't
body
comprehend.
took over. So of course now I'm sitting there going, stage 4 pancreatic, what? But I pieced it together. It was cancer. Anyway, the craziest thing was their reactions, because you hear Janice and she's so Janice, like she just goes, well, I'll just do everything you tell me. I'll fight it and I'll do everything you say, And then my dad, I'm moving the mic away. This is what you hear on the WhatsApp. I'm alone!
No.
I'm fucking serious. And then he said, I'm a widow!
Emotionally.
I had to call him and say, Dad, you cannot speak this way in front of your alive wife. It was crazy.
I'm sorry for laughing.
No,
this is really horribly funny.
And then he's crying to me like, I don't want to be here without her.
Oh, God.
And I've never heard him cry, and I'm trying to console him. And I said, well, statistically you won't. But I didn't know that would come true. They died 9 days apart. But she died. It was so tragic because she loved life so much. And then his death was like amazing because he just wanted to go. He wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
And he probably could have lived a little longer, but he was like,
Lights out.
yeah.
Jesus.
And we just kind of dueled them through death.
I'm dealing with my mom stuff a little bit right now.
Tell me.
With just, memory stuff. And she probably doesn't want me to talk. But, I wanted to do a bunch of tests. And, then I was like, well, I need the numbers of the tests. I need the results. And then her husband in the background, Gordon, he's like,
Gordon.
He's just like, we gave him the fucking test. What else does he need? And I go, Gordon, I want you to take a deep breath. I take a deep breath right now. You're upset, but we're all in this together. I'm trying to help you. I just need certain things. It's hard for him to do anything to get, all I need is to get her to do these tests, these memory tests, to get her to, it's just very difficult. And it's weird with the old me. I would have been like, don't fucking raise your voice like that to me. What are you? But I have changed so much where I notice where I'm like, Gordon, take a deep breath, relax. We're all trying to do the right thing for mom here. Okay. So
Yeah.
just, and then, well, I'm sorry for yelling at you. He's like
Yeah,
king of the
I
hill.
love Gordon.
Yeah, well, I love Gordon too, but he's a bit of a pain in the ass.
He's doing the best he can with what he's been given.
I think he's just kind of like, that's not right. That's not right, but I'm not going to address it. I'm just going to keep on going. And that's sort of the way it goes. And my mom's in complete denial, but like, I'm just trying to figure out what it is. And I'm hoping it's not dementia. I'm hoping but she sees two Gordons sometimes. Not sees them, but she knows that's not Gordon. That's not my husband.
But it is.
And I'm like, Mom, you know how irrational that sounds. There's only one Gordon. No, Michael, you have to understand. I know rationally that it sounds ridiculous, but there are two. I don't know this one.
Well, is she speaking
Metaphorically or
Yeah.
No. She's not going, no, this guy's an asshole. I know that guy.
Right.
Michael, I'm kidding. They're obviously, no, it's not that. So I don't know what it is. So I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm not a doctor.
It could
Damn
be
it, Jim. Inside of You is brought to you by Mint Mobile. You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans, Ryan?
What?
Getting burned by your old wireless bill. Well, you're planning beach trips, barbecues, and 3-day weekends. Your wireless bill should be the last thing holding you back. That's why I made the switch to Mint Mobile. With plans starting at $15 a month, let me say that again, $15 a month. Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. The coverage and speed you're used to, but way less money. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling, literally and financially.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/insideofyou. That's mintmobile.com/insideofyou. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5-gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com for details. Inside of You is brought to you by Quince. Oh man, I gotta show you my cashmere sweater that I got from Quince for $50. Yes, $50. I'm not big on trends, Ryan, but I am big on clothes that feel good and clothes that last. And that's why I keep going back to Quince. Their lightweight layers and high-quality staples have become my everyday essentials. Quince has all the things you actually want to wear this summer, like organic cotton silk polos, European linen beach shorts, and comfortable pants that work for everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners. And look, I wear sweatpants and, but now it's because it's a comfort thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I found a place that I could look nice and still be comfortable.
And you know what the best part is?
What, Ryan?
Everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands.
What?
By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury pieces without the markups.
And Quince only works with factories that use ethical and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. I love these guys. Wait till you see their clothes. You're going to want to buy them and you're going to be comfortable. Stick to the staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to Quince. That's Quince. Quince.com/insideofyou for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince.com/insideofyou to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/insideofyou. There's all these things that you want to hope it is, but the back of your mind's like, well, fuck,
Well, they're only just starting now, and God knows that will probably be shut down, to research women's bodies and, menopause and all this stuff. And they've been doing all these tests over all the years on all the diseases and everything. All the things they've been studying have been on only the male body. Is that amazing?
Wow. I didn't know that.
No, I did not either. And it turns out they're different.
Wow.
So there's a scientist, Lisa Mosconi, who is studying Alzheimer's, and she said, well, why does it hit women more than men? It's a change that happens in midlife. Oh my God, it's something to do with menopause. And that's the inn that has gotten funding to study menopause.
Just now?
Yeah. I mean, look,
That's incredible how that wasn't figured out earlier.
listen, even the most wonderful ally, amazing men, there's so much you don't know because it's not your fault or not you, but like men don't need to see the world through a female lens in order to survive, where the other way around is kind of more true. So like I said to my boyfriend, do you know, and I had only learned this, when women could legally like get a loan from a bank without her husband.
What year?
Yeah, you want to guess?
A loan from a bank without her husband. 70s?
1988.
That's incredible.
What were you, 17? 16?
16. Wow, that's sad.
Anyway, men are great though. I love them.
Yes.
I love penises.
You love penises. I love,
I love balls.
Do you like all balls?
I mean,
Do you prefer a big sack ball?
yeah, I like heavy,
Heavy, soft?
maybe.
Like a soft sack?
I like a soft, full,
Plump?
Like-
Plum-like?
yeah, like it, like with the weight, a pendulous weight of time.
Yeah, I know. I could visualize that.
Yeah,
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you don't want like a little grape nuts.
I'm a ball man.
You sound like Harry Carey used to say, I'm a bud man and a cub I'm a ball woman. You talk about depression a lot. You have talked about depression a lot. Well, no. But like, did Zoloft really save your life? Save your life?
Yeah.
Because I get it. And then the reason I ask you that, and you've probably been asked a lot, is because I always had like an anxiety disorder. Like no one even knew it. I just thought that was just me. That's normal. And I'm like, this is not any way to live. I can't keep going like this. The older you get, your body breaks down. You can't fight or flight constantly. And it wasn't until, for me, it was Lexapro, and it changed the game. It completely changed the game for me. And it's like, so Zoloft changed the game for you.
And I'm really lucky because you really have to commit to trying different things and finding the right match. And I got lucky. Zoloft was just the ticket. I started on Zoloft in 1994.
Wow.
My auntie Martha, that's what we call her, but I know it sounds weird to other people. She is a therapist. And at that time.
Wait, your aunt is actually a therapist?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were kidding.
No, she is. And
Auntie Martha.
She's like our last remaining elder, and she is not allowed to die. She's like all of our best friends. But she back then was like, I think you should try, this. Because my life was not my own. And it's funny because when I was 13, 14, 15, I went through a chemical depression of paralyzing extent, and my parents didn't know what to do. It was like the 80s, and they
didn't know where it was coming from,
and some quack put me on Xanax and then just upped it. I was 13 years old, and doesn't seem true, but it is. Had me on 4 Xanax 4 times a day.
But when you say 4 Xanax, are you talking about the 2 milligram big pill?
I have no idea.
But it was 4.
It was a small pill.
But you're a kid. You're 13.
I took 4 of them 4 times a day. And
I
felt like this can't be right. I remember keeping all the
Probably
bottles
always tired.
in a shoebox. I just was like
a zombie.
And I finally went to this other psychiatrist in New Hampshire, another outlier, a Mexican man. They're like, no Jews, no, and he couldn't believe that I was on that. I mean, whoever that was who prescribed it was like a registered nurse whose husband was a doctor, blah, blah, blah. She should be in jail, but she's probably dead of old age. But
or from Xanax.
Yeah. But it's crazy. He got me off of it very slowly, like a half a pill a week less at a time. You can, and when I took that last half a pill, I was like back to myself again. So I had a horrible experience with meds. But when I tried Zoloft, I didn't feel quelled or, like what people feel on some meds. And a lot of people, I have friends. Is that an Ellen puppet?
No, that's actually me in this show called Impastor that I did for 2 seasons. It kind of does look like Ellen.
From this angle and without my glasses, I was like, is that a puppet of Ellen?
I'm so aware. Yes, but you took it.
I do feel like there are people that go, I'm not going to go on meds because I need to be in control. And to me, that's
fine for them.
Well, that's fine for you, right? But for me, Zoloft gave me control. I was able to be myself again and not be in completely paralyzed.
Oh man. And going
fear.
to different, trying out different things. I remember I took something and it was my 50th birthday and I went to a restaurant and I had a full on anxiety attack. And I told everybody, I was like, hey, I want to go home right now. I just, I don't feel well.
Baby.
And were you there? No, but, it's so terrifying, but like you have to go through that sort of difficult stage of going through to see what works for you. Zoloft may not be right for you. Lexapro might not, so it's hard, but it's a godsend when it happens, when you're just like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not sweating because I'm doing something that I really shouldn't sweat for. I'm having a meeting. I shouldn't be, it's just a fucking meeting. It just gives me a little bit more, you're okay. You're all right. It's just
it's a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it's just it fortifies the serotonin in your brain, which is what helps you cope. Sometimes that bridge breaks off.
Yeah.
And what Zoloft does is just fortify that bridge.
Did you ever have an anxiety attack on stage? When you do a stand-up?
No.
Or a movie or anything?
You know what? The rare times that I've gone on stage stoned, which brings literally my 2 favorite things, stand-up and weed, and makes it a living nightmare, have been not.
So you've tried it more than once, thinking, okay, the first time was horrible, but maybe the second time is going to be better.
Well, no, it's more like, the whole year I was 20, I was stoned on stage, but that was just, I didn't know better, and I was fine on stage, but I didn't like write anything or discover anything new in that year, and it just doesn't work for me. There's so many comics that get high and are sharp as a tack, laser focused on stage. That is not me.
No. Yeah, you kind of, that's just your thing. You just kind of have to do your thing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the ultimate thing, is what works for you. It's not going to be the same as what works for even your closest person,
Have you ever done a joke that one of your closest friends was offended by and really was mad at you?
Probably boyfriends. I remember I did a few specials ago, and I was with a guy, lovely man I was with for a few years, and we were really, I'm going to use a showbiz term, on the bubble.
Okay.
We were about to either break up or stay together. I wasn't sure, and I shot the special twice. I'll usually do 2, shoot it 2 times. And one time I say, my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And the other one, I say, my ex-boyfriend, blah, 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 or whatever, just because by the time it came out, I didn't know which would be true. And he was sitting on the side of the stage for both tapings,
I just thought it would be funny.
He wasn't actually mad. He kind of understood, but it was definitely like, that was the most, brazen, listen,
You're right. We're on the bubble.
We're on the bubble. For
lack of a better word.
No, I don't think I said that to him. But yeah, I mean,
Do you, if you look at the business as a whole, do you love it? Do you love what you do? Or do you kind of like think every day part of you wants to go, I just want to disappear?
For different reasons, yeah. But and I love what I do, because I do odd jobs. I'll act in you're the same way. I have a podcast. I act in stuff. I'm a stand-up in my core. I like doing all sorts of things,
Because you get
I'll
bored.
host something,
or
I'll do something with talking, or I'll, but it's funny. Like maybe it's I get bored, but I also am very much into ritual. I don't get, my boyfriend doesn't, I could eat the same food every single day for every meal.
Me too. Why don't you take a sip of that? I mean, it's
Do
huge.
I sound like I need a sip?
No, I just
That's
said, well, you know, you haven't
like
had any water.
NPR mouth?
Oh, I would tell you. You know that thing? You don't want that.
No, it's so bad.
It's terrible. But you get, you know, yeah, you get bored, but like, you know, what else would you do really?
Like, I'm not looking to go out. I have missed epic things because I just couldn't leave my house.
I feel the same way.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've missed my career by just sitting in the house.
I mean, truly. And now, and it's ridiculous. I've become truly obsessed with Call of Duty, and it's all I want to do.
Oh no.
I was
you
like
love the video games.
I was at like the SNL 50th, and I was just like, I want to just be home playing Call of Duty.
You could see it. You close your
all
eyes,
I
you
can
see the
think
screen.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is badass.
I love it so much, and I don't know what
God.
it's giving me. I don't know what it's adding to my life. I can lie to myself and say it's meditative. It's not. It's totally stressful. But I mean, it's not really. But you know, you're in war.
You ever play
dude.
with AG, Steve, our good buddy? He
yeah,
plays that
I know.
shit.
No, I have him on my. I have very few people that but he doesn't. I don't
doesn't
think
play Call of Duty.
He never plays Call of Duty. He plays
Yeah.
like things with like fruit.
AG's like the most laid back person
I love
ever.
him so
I
much.
love
We're
him. I just
Marco
hung out
Polo
with him.
friends.
Yeah, you know.
You did? You actually got to hang
I
out with
hung
him?
out with him last week.
It's
Had
so
lunch
funny
with
because
him.
we're both such shut-ins that we
He's a comedian.
almost
If you don't
never
know
see him.
check him
But
out.
he's also like out of town shooting
Peacemaker.
like 6 months of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is amazing.
Yeah, if you ask him a question like, Steve, how you doing? Pretty good, I guess.
Well, do you know this app, Marco Polo?
Yes. It's old.
I guess, yeah.
I
And
mean,
I think
yeah.
old people use it, but I use it with a lot of comedians and stuff. And it's just so funny because,
It's like a walkie-talkie, right?
well, it's like a video texting.
Right.
So like, you know, but it's video but you get to it when you get to it and then you respond whenever. Like, it's less urgent than
Sponsored
text.
by Call of Duty, Marco Polo, and Zoloft and Lexapro
But
today.
AG leaves me messages and I have to play it on a 2 speed. Because he talks so slow and his voice is so low that it doesn't, his voice is still low on a 2.
Yeah. It just doesn't. How much do you care about what other people think of you at this point in your life? And have you gone to from a place where you always cared too much and you drove you crazy to where are you now?
I never had it to the extent that I've seen people have it.
Like they need that. They crave it. They need that immediate.
Yeah, like I have a lot of friends that, just like what we were saying about staying in, and I mean, I'm famous and my friends for like, there will be a birthday party with all of my friends a block away, and I still didn't make it, which is an example my friend Tall John uses all the time.
Tall John.
I'm bad. And when I have new friends, they might eventually go, I'm always the one that reaches out and it's never you. And it's not because I'm doing other things. It's just
I can't.
if I can be home, I want to be home. But when I do go out, I'm psyched that I went out. But
yeah, that's how I feel.
Question? Yeah.
No, but pretty much. It's like caring about what other people think.
Oh, of course I do. I mean, I think any comic especially is like a people pleaser. But I don't spiral into, I said this thing and they must think that. Like I see other people who have that and it's like so scary to me. The Zoloft thing is also what it helped with is being able to learn more in cognitive therapy, which has to kind of coincide hand in hand with it. And I've just learned so much, and it's a practice. I obviously, it's funny. On my podcast, someone asked me about my misophonia. Like I get sound sensitive. I'm like on the spectrum. Like I have sensations and sounds that I can't.
Like
I
what are some sounds that bother you?
Well, it only happens if there's any stress in my body. But of course, that's a lot of the time,
Yeah.
But like rappers, pen clicking, mouth noises, Rory will like make me dinner and then he'll be putting it away. And the rappers, and it's like, this man just made me food and is now cleaning it up.
And I'm mad.
And I'll turn around and be like, is that almost over? And he'll just laugh because he knows it's so fucked up, But now we have these huge headphones that my dad actually got me that are gun range headphones. And I just put them on. And I mean, I really am like I'm on, I think a lot of us are on the spectrum.
I think that's true. I think a lot more of us are than
and
we
it's
think.
quite a spectrum, obviously. But someone was like, I try to say on my podcast, I'm my best self for this hour. Like, please don't think I've got my shit together, But someone was saying, like, how do you handle it? And I was like, I either take myself out of the situation, and if I can't do that, like a lot of times it's like a sound person chomping gum with like a boom in their hand. And you just have to appeal to their better angels and say, this is not you. It's me. I have like a fucked up sound thing. Would you mind spitting your gum out? And and you know what? They will. I go, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry, and they're cool about it, The old me, your reaction, because it's chemical rage that gets turned up. So you'll be like, could you? Anyway, so I'm explaining what I do. And if I can't do that, I'll just take myself out of the situation. And my friend Darren called me and he was laughing. He's like, I listened to your podcast. He goes, you didn't mention how like when I was eating nuts, you were like, are you done with the nuts? But of course, like the people closest to you, your horrible self with. But I try to be, better, but I was laughing so hard. It's like,
I used to be like that with every sound. I like, you don't hear those people talking in the plane in front of us. God, are you talking for everybody here? What the fuck? And everyone else is reading. No one's, and I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's the Alexa Pro, but I have a leaf blower and the battery pack, you have to charge it and it goes, and it makes this sound. And it keeps going for like 10 minutes. And my assistant one day was just like, do you not hear that sound? I'm like, yeah, it's right in front of me. It's the leaf blower battery. He's like, that doesn't bother you? And I go, no, it doesn't. It was weird. It was like, this helped that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's not, but yes, I understand that certain sounds, but you're a little more extreme.
But it's really like if I'm carrying some kind of stress in my body, then I'll recognize it. But yeah, some other sounds don't bother me at all. Like I have a Todd Berry.
So funny.
He was talking about it because he has it too. And we have some of the same, but we have very different ones too. Like he's like whistling. Oh, when fucking people whistle. And I'm like, really? I whistle all the time. I like
that
doesn't
nice
bother me.
Whistle.
Yeah. So I mean, they don't make sense.
No.
You're not right about sounds. Although if people snap their gum, if hell exists, I'm just saying. I believe it doesn't, but.
Inside of You is brought to you by IDO. That's IDEO, by the way. IDO is amazing for folks like me and you who don't know a lot about a lot of things when it comes to AI, and you feel stuck and you're worried all the time. And, if you're feeling stuck in your career, Ryan, and you're worried that your team can tell, because people could read through that. They could see that if you don't know what you're doing. Jumpstart your growth with IDOU. Their online courses draw from design and innovation company IDEO's award-winning methods, and you can dive in whenever you're ready. There's never a bad time to transform your professional life.
Their online courses tap into design and innovation company IDEO's award-winning methods.
You ever feel overwhelmed by all the AI hype?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know that it's important, but we struggle with how to use it in our day-to-day work environment. IDOU's AI and design thinking programs are designed for leaders like you, like us, people who want to stay ahead but keep problem-solving human-centered. It's practical, hands-on, and built for real-world impact.
IDOU has a whole suite of AI and design thinking programs that show you how to combine AI tools with human-centered design to boost creativity, speed up insights, and solve problems in new ways.
I mean, that just sounds amazing. I think everyone should get in on this because, you don't know who to talk to, who to ask. Like, how do I do this? How do How do I figure this out? This is a great idea. At IDOU, you'll learn to apply human-centered methods to real-world challenges and turn insights into creative solutions that actually make a difference.
IDOU's courses are designed to seamlessly transition from theory to practice, ensuring that you can apply new skills right away and spark immediate progress.
I want to do a song for them, like a little jingle. IDOU. What do you think? IDOU.
And you can too.
Ooh, I like
There you
that.
go.
Class starts soon, so enroll today. For a limited time, IDOU is offering my listeners 15% off site-wide. Go to IDOU.com/inside. That's IDEOU.com/inside for 15% off.
IDOU.com/inside.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Boy, do I love my BetterHelp. You know, so many people use BetterHelp, and it is just delightful. And I love hearing the testimonies from people who are getting therapy through BetterHelp. It's just wonderful. Look, men today face immense pressure to perform, to provide, and keep it all together. That's not easy for us men, is it, Ryan? So it's no wonder that 6 million men in the U.S. suffer from depression every year. And it's often undiagnosed. Look, it's okay to struggle. Real strength comes from opening up about what you're carrying and doing something about it so you can be the best for yourself and everyone in your life. If you're a man and you're feeling the weight of the world, please talk to someone. Anyone, a friend, a loved one, a therapist. Therapy empowers you to be the best version of yourself. And it's for everyone. With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. Join a session with a therapist at the click of a button and switch therapists at any time. Seriously, if you're worried about not liking your therapist, you don't have to worry any longer. With BetterHelp, you switch therapist, moving on. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/inside. That's better, BETTER, help, HELP.com/inside. Betterhelp.com/inside.
It's crazy.
Tell me about Norm Macdonald. Were you close with Norm?
I mean, I don't know how close I was with Norm in the spectrum.
I already had a crush on you. You've heard that.
I don't think. Listen, Norm and I, we've.
Oh yeah. That's Sarah Silverman. It's something else. Yeah.
I don't think so. I didn't read his book, but I guess in his book, which is like a fictional memoir, he talks about being in love with me or something. I think that was fictional. I don't know that he is
capable of love.
I don't know what kind of love he really ever experienced other than with his, I mean, she was so much more than an assistant, but his kind of life partner in work, but in life and everything. He didn't have a license. She drove him everywhere. Lori Joe. I think that was I have no doubt, but it's speculation because that's the closest relationship.
Right. Did he make you laugh a lot?
Oh my God. Norm.
You would put him in the top 10 of people that make you laugh?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. He's brilliant. He's the best. I mean.
And he would say anything. He pissed people off and he didn't care. Oh my God.
And I always was, and not with judgment. Maybe I can't say that, but I really don't think with judgment. I thought it would, and I have a lot of friends that are God people, but I always was surprised by his unwavering belief in God. It just did not track with his personality in any way to me.
He would say something so ridiculous that you think that his next joke would be like, and then there's God, and God, supposedly, he did all these things and he created the world and you were ready for a punchline. But you're saying he really, believed in God.
He did.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, Norma's amazing. Lots of weird, funny experiences with him. But he's.
You have worked with the biggest all the stars. Everybody knows you. You're a name, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I know. And an insane amount of
people
that I go, oh my God, like teenage me would not believe.
Do you do that?
My life. Yeah, I think about it all the time, but I don't carry that when I'm with them. Like I've become a little friendly with Steve Martin,
Yeah.
And he was he is, but I mean, my number one, like, worshipped him all through my teens and through today.
Yeah.
But I don't like stare at him like with, I don't try to bring teenage me to like, I know that feeling when someone is like sycophantish. Is that a word?
Yeah.
And it separates you. You can't be close to them.
You're like, oh, it's this.
You're drawn more to the people that are like comfortable with you.
But
like,
in a way, aren't you sort of faking it deep down? Like you're doing a good job of acting, letting him know that you're cool?
I want to say yes, but it's really no. I think I just, I've gotten very good with just being in this moment. It's a practice, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't really carry all that with me because even if it's positive, like, wow, I'm with my idol. It is still baggage. It's like something that separates you. And
yeah, I did that when I do that. When I worked with Stallone, I absolutely went up and I was just like, hey, I heard you talking about doctors. And they just got in and started talking about my back problems and his back problems. And we just started hanging. And like, I could tell he liked me. And after like a week or two working, like he'd go, hey, Rosenbaum, come over here. What do you like? Look, when you had, who's your doctor? Yeah, he's an asshole. He never fucking texts me, but like a real conversation. But sometimes I'll go like, oh my God, Rocky's talking to me.
Yeah.
I'll think that.
Yeah.
I'll think it, but I won't say anything. I really would fuck with him, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. I heard this one actor worked with Stallone, worked with De Niro, and they went in his trailer after. De Niro's like, hey, why don't you come in? I don't do it great. Why don't you come in the trailer and have a drink? This is the end of the shoot. It's done. And he goes in there and he's like, hey, can I just say something to you? He's like, okay. He's like, you're the reason why I started acting. And started going. He goes, you don't have to do this. Let's just have a drink. And he's like, no, I want to get this out of my system. Just let me say this. And I go, well, did it do well? Did you do? He goes, no, it was the most awkward. Because I don't think
it makes them feel
like, oh, I thought you're just like one of us.
Yeah, I feel like that it puts a barrier between you. Like you're not. I don't know. I do think that it's
like you haven't removed that. You're still like in awe in a way. You're still like the person, like, if I went up to him like, hey, how you doing? Hey, Rocky. He's like, oh, fuck. He's not going to want to hang out with me or talk to me.
Right.
Because I'm an idiot.
But like, I love TV and I watch a lot of TV.
What do you watch?
I mean, it's all over the place, but I mean, right now I'm watching The Pit.
Is it good?
It's not something that I would have thought to watch, but I have friends that are like, watch it. And it's so fun.
Is it intense?
It's so good.
Noah Wiley?
He's unbelievable.
I love Noah Wiley. I'll watch it.
Just on a acting the medical jargon that they are
that's why I will never do a medical show.
I mean, they must have notes all over people's bodies.
Yeah.
That's all. But it's unbelievable. But not that that's the reason. It's so
real,
engaging. There's never a dull moment. It's fucking great. I just watched Severance.
I didn't see that.
Oh my God. Did you watch Penguin?
No, I'm not really into all that stuff.
I'm not either.
Really?
But it's more mob than superhero or anything. It's more like a mob story almost, kind of.
All right. Did you see Gold and Greed documentary?
No, what's that?
Dude, watch Gold and Greed on Netflix.
Golden Greed or Gold and
Greed.
Oh.
It is the story of this guy who buries a treasure, and all these people around the country start looking for this treasure. And people die along the way, and all this. It's awesome.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it just came out. It's a documentary, 3-part series. They interview. Well, they could. I want you to watch, but
I don't like stuff like hands-on hard body and.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, it's great documentary, but
American Movie? It's my favorite.
I love American Movie.
Yeah.
I love American Movie. You know what I love about American Movie, and I haven't seen it in a long time? But it was so brilliantly, the storytelling was so brilliant.
And
because
touching.
it isn't until like halfway through that this guy you find out has a kid. You're like, what? You know, like
he has kids?
Yeah, like they revealed things in beautifully. It was the way they unfolded the story.
You love all the characters.
Oh my God.
I quote it in bed before I go to sleep to my girlfriend.
What do you say?
Like Uncle Bill, he's like, and he's always like, he's a curmudgeon. And they're like, Bill, how much money do you have? He goes, $285,000. At least that's what they say I have. Don't know if it actually is. It's just like lines like that. Lines like Mark's drunk and he's talking to his Uncle Bill and he's like, Bill, it's because he's trying to make a movie. He's like, it's all about cinema. And he's like, cinnamon? No, cinema. Cinnamon? That's good, I guess. I can't stop quoting this movie, and it's 25 years old, 30 years old. I love that kind of shit. I love documentaries. But I have to watch The Pit. Hey folks, it's me, Michael Rosenbaum. Listen, if you're a supporter of the podcast, if you're enjoying these interviews, we ask you if you can join Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you, and help the podcast. It's a great way to build a community and friends, and there's a lot of benefits. There's different tiers. There's one where I give you packages every couple of months, a bunch of gifts, and write a note. You get your name shouted out on the podcast, and much, much more. But most importantly, you'll be helping the podcast. So if you want to become a member of Patreon and support this podcast, that would be awesome. So just go to Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you. And I really appreciate you. Thanks. You ever been intimidated by an actor?
Yeah, early on.
Like who?
Well, I feel like I've told this story before and I feel kind of bad about it, but because I'm sure he's a nice man.
You don't have to tell it.
Well, I did an episode of Seinfeld.
I know, yes.
And it was later in the seasons. And at this point, they would do a live recording on one episode, and then they'd do a
pickups.
Then they'd do an episode just shot without an audience, and then they'd shoot with an audience, and they'd show that audience the one that they recorded without the audience to record the laughs. It just was an easier way to do probably 22 episodes a year later is my guess. And I played Kramer's girlfriend, and the first thing, and obviously I'm like, I can't even believe I have this part on Seinfeld, and oh my gosh, and I get in the first thing we shot, because we were shooting like that, was us in bed, and he's scared. And I'm nervous. It's our first scene. And I have a line that's like, he's scared about, he hears a noise, and I say, the line is, it's probably the wind. And I accidentally say, it's probably the rain. And he broke character, and he goes, do you see rain in that window?
Oh, that's horrifying.
And I go, no. He goes, then why did you say rain? Is there rain in that window right now?
Did it almost make you cry?
I was, yeah.
Did you play it off like, oh, yeah, of course. Jesus.
No, I said, well, I just made a mistake. But he had like the tantrum, and
Jesus.
He should be nice, but listen, everyone, I'm sure he's come a long way since then, whatever. People have days. But I was young, and I don't know, I was like, maybe I was 27. And
that hurts.
But the next day, we were shooting in Monk's Diner, and we were sitting at a little table for two, and we're waiting to shoot. We're just like sitting there, and he's talking to me like I'm his buddy. And he goes, and he's like rich, I have like two roommates, And he's like, I don't know why I'm looking at a house on Laurel Canyon, but maybe I want to get that, and I just go, I don't give a fuck. I like mustered up all my energy to say it. Yeah. I go, I don't give a fuck. And he kind of was like knocked off kilter. And then he was lovely to me for the rest of the time. And then he even like called me. He's like afterwards, and he was like, should I get back into stand up? You know,
But he never apologized for
no,
that.
nope.
It was just his way of saying, hey, you're okay now. Like, but yeah, how do you treat
Yeah, but you know,
someone like that?
I don't need an apology, and I kind of was able to. That was the first time I remember standing up for myself by just giving.
Fuck off.
I'm not saying it was right that I said that,
Oh, yeah, it was.
but it felt right.
Felt good.
And it recalibrated the dynamic, you know. But it, you know, just when I was younger and more vulnerable are the times that I was taken advantage of in myriad ways. And of course, like men don't try that with me now because they wouldn't dare.
Right.
You know,
But you shouldn't do it with anybody.
Nobody should be fucked with, but it's always the
Yeah.
vulnerable that are
taking advantage
right for the
of.
picking, you know.
Right,
So
right.
it's interesting, and you know, I'd love our culture to get to a place where we just take care of each other.
You know, I know it
Like,
sounds
it's just-
corny, but it's so true. It's like,
Yeah.
what? It's so much easier to just be kind. It is easier.
Yeah, it is. Listen, you know, energy this is woo-woo, but it's science. It's contagious, right? So if you're driving and you accidentally cut someone off and you know they're going to come and be fucking ragey at you, or you feel it. You know, they give you the finger and now you have it and the next person gets it from you. And I do have a way of ending that, which is fun, which is like if someone like honks at me like they're pissed behind me or something, I look in my rearview mirror and pretend that I recognize them, like that we know each other, and I'll go, "Oh my God, hi!" And they get terrified.
That's brilliant.
And then also, if I do
Love
fuck
that.
up on the road, which we all do, and I definitely do, and the person's like now coming and they feel rage at me, and I understand, I will always roll down my window. And by the time they get to me, I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm such an idiot. And it dissipates their rage.
Right.
They feel better. Now they can take care of me. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And it's lovely, but you can really undo that
Yeah.
rage in someone.
You could shut it off.
By just being, listen, I did fuck up. I cut the guy off, or, you know, I didn't mean to, or I did something. Yeah, I'm just fucking sorry. It doesn't take anything away from me to like just be I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You know.
I cut someone off once. I remember, and they pulled up. They go, "What the fuck?" I go, "I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole."
And it melts.
I apologize. And
Yeah.
they go. They took off, you know, because they were like, "What is he doing? Is he apologizing? That doesn't exist."
I love the challenge of taking down someone's rage, you know.
That is a good challenge. If you
And
could do
it's easy with just a little, corny to say, a little love.
Little loving from the oven. This is called Shit Talking with Sarah Silverman. This is Rapid Fire. These are my patrons, patreon.com/inside of you.
Oh, brilliant.
And here we go. Raj says, tell me about a time you felt conflicted between who you felt you were versus what people expected you to be. That's a big one.
I have a good answer to that.
Okay.
I think after my first big special, which was like the culmination of just my best material for my whole stand-up career up until then, you know, right? And it was a lot of surprise, a lot of elements of shock value, and I had never had to go back to zero. So now that came out and it was successful, and I still just had that material. And then I realized I have to throw that away and start over. And then I had such an identity crisis because I was like, okay, they want me to shock them or surprise them. But then I am giving them what they expect. So how do I even, it just made my brain melt. And then I had to learn that comedy dies in the second guessing of your audience. You just have to keep writing what you think is funny right now. And if you lose people, you lose, you know, if you gain people, great, you know, whatever. But you just can't, you know, there are comics that get famous on one thing or one character or one vibe, and they feel beholden to that for the rest of their career, even if they grow outside of that, or if they, you know, And then they become kind of a caricature of themselves, you know? I mean,
Right.
even you could do that with me and just go like, vagina. And it would still be pretty accurate, you know, of course. But
it would still be accurate.
But, you know, I don't know. You have to be brave enough. And I watched this. I remember seeing this, like really learning it from Chris Rock, where he goes to 0. Right now I'm at 0, you know. I just did this special. I'm at fucking 0. I tried new material last night. It was so bad.
You bombed?
No, because the audience is so warm and they know I'm just throwing shit at the wall. But if it was presented as a polished set, yes, I would have bombed. I'm sure. I mean, I still can eat a bowl of shit in the right.
And you can deal with it.
But you have, Rory, my boyfriend's like always impressed at how well I take failure, you know, on stage, because I know it's part of the process. That's what I watched Chris Rock. He would do a special and just be brilliant, all this stuff. And then he'd walk into the cellar, the comedy cellar. The audience goes fucking bananas. And as much as you want to give them your best, you have to start at 0. And he is fine with it. He goes up, he tries jokes, and he is willing to absolutely disappoint this crowd because he has to try new material. And he doesn't judge it, and he just does the work.
Does he preface it with like, hey, I'm about to give you some new stuff, so hey, it might suck. Yeah.
But to go from, oh my God, it's Chris Rock. And to be able to go, I'm not going to do stuff that I could do and no kill. I have to figure out, you know, the audience is half of it. So you can't like hone it in front of the bathroom mirror. You've got to do it on stage. And that's brave.
That is absolutely brave.
So, you know, I had to learn that.
Taylor R.
This is the speed round, by the way.
No, but no, I'm glad you took the time. No, I am, because that's great. Taylor R., do you have a favorite role that you've worked on?
Lots of things for different reasons, but I mean, kind of the Sarah Silverman Program, but also I did a short that I loved that no one saw. And it was...
Doesn't matter.
It's called...
What's it about? That will help you figure
I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a weird character piece that these 2 brothers wrote, the Nee brothers.
The Nee.
N-E-E, yeah. And it's called You Never Really Know Someone. And it's, I don't know, 15 minutes long or something. And I just loved it.
Wow.
I love comedy that's played straight. I always think it's interesting when comedy doesn't get like the same respect as drama, because it's the same. You're just playing something honestly.
Yeah. I think it's harder to do a comedy series because it seems like it's more work, where it's like a drama, you have the lines written, you act well, and you move on, and it seems like comedy, it's never funny enough. They want over and over and over and keep feeding stuff and throwing, and it just seems like it takes longer. It's harder. It's like the beats have to be right. The jokes have to be right. Everything has to be where in drama.
Yeah, there's science in it.
There's a science to it. So it's definitely harder. It's like, that's why I think a lot of comedians can do drama a lot easier.
Well, yeah. And when dramatic actors, there are a few dramatic actors that are fucking brilliant at comedy, but a lot of them, they think they have to put like some special sauce on it, you know? I mean, I guess if it's like Ace Ventura or something, that's like standalone, like brilliance. But, you know, pretty much it's just, you're just saying the comedy lines honestly. You don't have to put a lot of sauce on it necessarily.
Yeah.
Especially when I first saw Kristen Wiig, she was such a brilliant example of that. Of she's so funny, but it's almost imperceptible what she's doing to be funny. It's really, I thought that was kind of a new level, you know?
Yeah, I saw like the Skeleton Twins or something.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful movie. She's great. Her and Bill Hader. It's like, and they're such brilliant comedians. Then you watch it and they're just like, I believe these guys.
What about in MacGyver when he's like, what about your singing career? And she goes, it can wait. Like, not that good, you know, just like, it can wait. Oh my God.
Flirtatious B, who has inspired you the most?
It's just such an array of people. Yeah. Obviously, like Steve Martin was like my number one, even though I share very little DNA with him comedically, but but also like Mr. Rogers, Gary Shandling.
Yeah.
My therapist, who's like 81.
I love Gary Shandling, by the way.
Oh.
I know you do, and you were close. I remember I had met him a few times, and we have the same physical therapist. And
Who?
David Fabrizio.
Oh, no, I don't know.
And so I got to talk to him. I remember I went to your party at your house. You still have the same place?
No, I lived in a tiny apartment.
No, it was the roof that you got.
It was the
rented.
roof.
Yeah,
I lived on the bottom
I
floor
played
in a
poker
tiny
there.
apartment. Yeah, you played poker.
Yeah. But then you had a party on your roof, which kind of seemed like you were rich.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, they thought that's where I lived. It was
whoa,
a
it's a
$150 down payment to use the roof in my building of like mostly elderly people, and it was incredible. It was like an incredible space because it's the whole roof.
I love that place. You lived there forever.
I did, and I thought I would always live there. And then during the pandemic, I like almost on a whim bought a house. The first house I saw, I wasn't looking to buy a house, but Tall John was like, "You're going to get this house." They were like building a house, a few houses down from him. "You're going to buy this house." I'm like, "No, I'm not. What am I going to do in a house? I like small spaces. You know, I'm like a dog, you know, like I need like to feel like, and, do dogs like small spaces?
I swear to God, that was my next line. Do dogs actually like small spaces?
No, but like sometimes they like to go in a little like,
they're okay with
they like to have like their sides and their back, you know, where no one
touching a cage.
I don't know. I just liked, the thought of moving, going through my shit.
Daunting.
But I just did. I went to look at it, and then the guy who built it was there, and I go, "If I give you what you're asking for, will you not put it on the market and sell it to me?" And he goes, "Okay." And that was it.
Really?
Yeah, my first and ever house.
But Shandling was so nice to me. He was just like, he's like, hey, Mike. And he just like that, he was warm and he was listening. He's like, yeah. There was just something sweet about him. I don't know. He was
a willing mentor, and just so many things that he learned the hard way, he gave to us, you know? And it's not that he had all his shit together, but he worked so hard to try.
Yeah.
And that's why he was a Buddhist, and you go, "Oh, he must have been so Zen." No, he needed Buddhism desperately, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought Judd Apatow's 2-part documentary
brilliant.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
I mean, just did him so right, you know, like poured through his journals and he wrote something in his journal that I would have not seen if Judd didn't. And it just said, it's all notes to himself. And it just said, "Give what you didn't get."
Wow. I remember that.
That's a good one, right?
That's a good one. Give what you didn't get.
I
think I do. Honestly, I think I do that.
Yeah.
I really try. I think that just made me think for a second.
Good.
Give what you don't get or didn't get.
Give what you didn't get.
Didn't get. That's right. Didn't get. Yeah. That's
cry.
You love
cry.
You love your podcast? You love it.
Yeah, I do.
What do you love about it?
I love getting calls from all over. I'm always surprised at I think I'm just so not worldly other than this whole country from touring, that I'm always shocked when people hear it in other countries and call from all sorts of other places and all sorts of places in this country, you know, that, you know, like this country's fucking big. It's like 30 countries, you know,
yeah.
Probably should be. But, but yeah, I like when people call in. I like being able to, I like the trajectory of the podcast being dictated by callers. And I like
talking to people.
I like not having to ask people to come on my show because I'm so, even when I wrote a book, you
have no guests.
I have no guests. I might start dipping my toe in
when you want to,
having friends come and answer with their perspectives and talk about the stuff that comes up. I mean, it definitely became less funny than, I don't want to say less funny. more serious than I ever intended because people started calling in with like heavy fucking shit.
But see, I think that's when you find it, because you go into something like, I went in this, I was like, oh, you can make some money doing a podcast like 6 or 7 years ago when I started. Well, I'm just saying. And I thought, oh, you know what? I could talk. Okay. My voice isn't awful.
You're great at this.
Well, you know, I never thought I'd even be good at it. I never thought so, but it wasn't working. I wasn't making money. I was like, I can't get, it's hard to. And then all of a sudden I started talking about real shit and self-deprecating stuff and therapy and mental health and just stuff that I'm interested in. And that's when it clicked. So what I'm saying is you go into it thinking one way and then it evolves and becomes something else, which is great.
Yeah.
It takes you where it's...
Well,
you know,
as someone who likes documentaries, that's really kind of the format is you go in with one intention and best case scenario, the real subject presents itself.
You still talk to Matt Damon?
No, I mean, I
you
see
were friendly
him,
with him.
Not really.
No, it was just a funny. I'm fucking Matt Damon was just I thought you knew him.
If I see him, he gives me a hug. Oh, nice to see you. You know, he's come to see me do stand up a couple times, but I don't like have his phone number or anything. It all started because I was dating Jimmy Kimmel. We were together for and he had just started his talk show, and he was having like no big guests. Like I remember. It was a night where the second guest was a man with the longest arm hair. And he was so frustrated. And I said, you know what? You should do that thing like when they run out of time, you know? But you should say it's like the biggest movie star there is. And I just thought like Matt Damon. I go, at the end of the show, just say, sorry, Matt Damon, we ran out of time. And he started doing that. And then when Matt agreed to be a part of it, I think Jimmy's told me that he was like, I'll participate in this, but I don't want you to ever stop saying, sorry, Matt Damon ran out of time. And I think he still says it. But that was an idea that his cousin Sal and one of the writers, Tony Barbieri, thought of, like, I'm fucking Matt Damon. We were planning a show that Jimmy didn't want to know anything about it, like for his birthday or something. Yeah, it was like some occasion. And he wanted it booked like all as surprises for him, you know. So this was the one time I was on the road and I was going through Miami, and that's where Matt Damon was living at the time. And he agreed to do this thing. And I remember I had to lie to Jimmy about where I was on the road. And I was so like, had such agita about it, you know, because I'm not a good liar. But Tony and Sal, cousin Sal came in. We wrote this song the night before. We recorded it, and someone did Matt's vocals. And then the next day, we had 3 hours with Matt and 3 hours in this hotel to shoot. He like went in a hotel room closet and learned the song, recorded his part of the song, and then we just lip synced it and did the, you know, as many locations as we could in this one hotel. And it just came together.
It was a phenomenon.
You know, I watched it like a year ago. I hadn't seen it in so long. We're talking about a video called I'm Fucking Matt Damon.
I'm Fucking Matt Damon. You guys should know it. Check it out.
And it really held up. It was still funny.
It's so funny.
So little comedy holds up for me anyway. And that one held up.
And you and Jimmy are still good friends.
Yes.
Like you call
My
him.
boyfriend works on his show.
Isn't that weird how that all works out? That doesn't usually happen.
Well, life is long, and, you know, I remember when Jimmy and I were dating, it annoyed him that I was close to a lot of my ex-boyfriends. He's like, if we break up, I will never be your friend. And I like to throw that in his face because, you know, we're, as he puts it, we're like brothers. But yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's amazing. Your special, is it out?
PostMortem on Netflix. Check it out.
Yeah, please check it out. I mean, look how real and fun she is. I mean,
it's comedy. It's not going to, it'll be funnier than I am today in this.
What do you mean? This is what the podcast is.
Yeah.
You are funny. You're not just like crack a joke. It's real. It's like,
I know, but I have comedy friends that I listen to them on a podcast and they're so nonstop funny. Like for me, Jeff Ross makes me laugh so hard. He's just bam, 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 bam. But it's okay that I am not. But Oh my God.
On his podcast. So he just
he doesn't have a podcast, but just anything he does, any press, anything, it's like boom, boom, boom.
I just
boom.
don't think that a podcast like that like this would work with a guest where it's just like I'm just trying to get shit out of you. I'm just trying to go, oh yeah, how long were you fucking this guy? And how are you,
right.
It's
set
just
you up for, it's like when talk shows at their worst are so bad where it's like, you had an experience with a monkey on a cruise ship. Like that's not very organic. We could get into that and maybe
I just want to have a conversation
way.
with an old friend and just happy you're doing so well. And
likewise. I love seeing your face
this was
in your
great.
home.
I'm so glad you finally came.
I know I'm a disappointment as
Not
a
the last time I'll say that to someone. Thanks, Sarah. Long time coming. You've only promised me for 5 years. Jeez. But it was a blast. I had a good time. Thank you for listening. This has been really great. And I'm about to read the top tier names.
Well, should we say that Sarah Silverman had a comedy special that just came out? And that's
we talk about it in the podcast. Yeah. But it's hilarious. Yeah, she's freaking hilarious. She's just, she comes up with stuff that I don't really think about, and then I'm like, wow, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
And she always has a turn on it, but she's been doing this so long. So it was nice getting inside her head of how she operates, and like, she bombs or she gets nervous or she, things like that. I always like to ask questions like that to the guests because I always feel like that. Do you ever get nervous? Do you ever do this? So it was great. These are, if you join Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you, there's tons of perks, but one of them is getting your name shouted out. So we're about to do that right now with the top tiers that give back to the show, this wonderful family. Here we go. Nancy D. I'm going to read it backwards this time.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to start out with Gary F.
Oh, boy.
Gary F. Jack M. T-Paw 212. Brian B. Jeff G. Dave T. Sultan Pierre C. Ben B. L.E.K. Heather and Greg Grether. Keith B. NG Tracy. Jenny B. 76. Don G. Charlene A. Stephanie and Evan. Stefan.
Nick W. Rachel D. Claudia. Randy S. April R. Jen T. Frank B. Charlene A. Jessica B. Jules M. Luna R. I feel like I have to go
it's
up
weird.
because we're going up.
We're going up.
Leanne J, Jamin J, Jorel, Kevin E, Amanda R, Eric H.
Eric H.
I got to the top.
Mel S, Monica T, Eugene R, M, Mr. M, that is. Jeremy C, Michelle A, Rhiannon C, Betsy D, Tahlia M, Tom N, Tabitha T, Ray Hadada, Brad D, Dave Hall. Hello, Dave. Dave Hall. Hey, Michael. It's Dave Hall. I miss you, Dave. I haven't talked to you in a while. I hope to come to... I'm going to Liverpool.
Oh.
I hope I see you, Dave. You're a treat. Belinda N, Kendrick F, Leanne P, Santiago M, Santi, 99 more, Eldanzsupremo, Mike, Janelle B, Jamal F, Stacey L, Jennifer N, Raj, Sophie M, Jason Dream, Weaver, Rob I, Niko P, Zach, man, what a stud your son is. Brian H, Yukiko. Hi, Yukiko. She's so far away, but so close to my heart. Little Lisa, and last but not least, Nancy D. Thank you for listening from the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California. I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Taylor.
Little wave to the camera. We love you. Please, whatever you do, be good to yourself and join me next week. Keep listening. Thanks for all the support.